this is Angela with Park Rose Permaculture. It's the first week of November and I'm standing in my side yard garden doing fall cleanup. The chickens and ducks are free ranging this time of year, so you can see them out there. This is a quince bush right here, which I've talked about in videos before, and standing in front of the shed, which is this blue structure here, which is built 100% from free scrounged material. And there is an apple tree right here. So this is an apple guild. But I actually want to talk today about a vegetable, not a fruit. So in this part of the garden, tucked away in a corner, is a vegetable that I'm in the process of kind of tidying up for the winter. So you can see there's some prunings on the ground. This is the leaves of this particular plant. It can grow 10 or 12 feet tall. And then over here, this is the patch. So this rain and wind have knocked down all the plants, and you can see they're yellowing and in the process of dying. So this is the Jerusalem artichoke. The other name for it is sunchoke. Sometimes it's called earth apple. The scientific name is Helianthus tuberosus. It is a perennial sunflower. So sunchokes are increasing in popularity. They've been a really popular permaculture vegetable for a long time, and I think they're being served more and more in restaurants. I've seen them at New Seasons sometimes. So I wanted to show you how easy it is to grow this vegetable and why you should have it in your home garden. So I have it in this little corner back here behind the kids' fairy garden. It's in an area where I have amended the soil with a lot of sand. And the reason is that you eat the tubers, hence Helianthus tuberosus, of this plant. So that way it's easier for me to dig it up. So let's go in and take a closer look. The plant grows on these really tall stalks, and it has these little flowers. There's some flowers about that big around. But let's go in here. I'm gonna try not to trip over all my kids' things in the fairy garden. Okay, so I've cut back some of the stalks to make it easier to pull the plant out. The stalks are maybe about as big around as your thumb. And so I've cut back the stalks on this, and because I've amended the ground so much with sand, and it has a really thick layer of compost on top, I'm going to show you, these come out really easily. I don't have to dig at all. So this is a sunchoke, and they can vary in size from about that big to this big, sometimes even larger. There's some more dug up over here. And sunchokes are a traditional perennial vegetable that has been eaten by American Indian tribes for a very long time. It is native to North America. I really like sunchokes, so you dig them up, and if they're nice and tender, then I just scrub them. I don't actually peel them. They can be a little tricky to peel. So just scrub them really well with, like a mushroom cleaning brush. And then I slice them really thinly and I fry them in bacon fat. Other things you can do is steam them and mash them. The downside to this vegetable is that, eating it, is that it is very high in inulin. So in some people it can make you kind of gassy. So if you're prone to gas, then you want to actually cook this a really long time to help break down the inulin. So a popular way to do it is in the crock pot for a long period of time, and then mash it after you cook it for several hours in the crock pot. Mash it with some butter, a little sour cream, salt and pepper, and heavy cream. In terms of growing this plant, it is a perennial. So any little piece of tuber will form a whole new plant. So when you plant sunchokes, you will have them in that spot forever. It's like horseradish. Any little bit of root will grow a whole new plant. So what I do in the fall is I go around, they're actually better after a hard freeze. They tend to sweeten a little bit, but I do dig some up now, and then I'll keep harvesting from the patch throughout the fall and winter. If you pull up the plant, and little tubers will inevitably get left in the ground, and they will regrow into a whole new plant. But what I actually do is I pick the biggest and best ones and I plant them back, just like potatoes, and I eat the rest of them. I find that they have a really nice crispness to them, where you can eat them raw if you want. If you slice them really thin, sort of like if you were eating radishes, you can slice them and put them in a little dish of salt water or a little bit of vinegar and salt and sugar.
but also cooked they're excellent. Anyway, back to my point. If you leave any small piece of tuber in the ground, it will regrow a whole new plant. So I harvest everything, and then I plant back. In this patch, it is maybe 3 feet by 6 feet. I do 2 rows, and total I put in maybe 10 tubers. I plant back, and then out of those 10 tubers, I will get just bucketfuls to eat in the fall. So it's a really nice, sustainable, easy to grow, completely low maintenance vegetable that is native to the North American continent and is tasty and nutritious and very easy and not worth paying the high price in the grocery store. Very easy to grow and also attractive. So it's tall and it has really nice yellow flowers in the summer. And it is also a plant that you can eat all winter long. So it's a good keeper. It will keep in the ground here in Oregon. Elsewhere where it freezes hard, you might want to keep it in a root cellar in a bucket of sand. But here it keeps in the ground and I just dig it up as I need it. So again, that's Helianthus tuberosus, the Jerusalem artichoke, also known as sunchoke.